Happening now, a Jamestown dog owner is speaking out after their pit bull was allegedly beat with a wrench this week. And the Buffalo Bills face off against the LA Rams today as the NFL season opens. Plus, a disabled Jamestown veteran has won a local hunting trip, giving him an opportunity that without the help of others would not be possible.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, the owners of a dog allegedly beaten with a wrench in Jamestown this week are calling for justice and hope the man accused in this attack never owns a pet ever again. Our Alyssa Wright spoke exclusively with the owners following the attack. We warn you, some of the images in this story might be graphic for some viewers. Discretion is advised.
The pit bull named Kovu was allegedly struck in the head and face multiple times with a wrench by Gregory Roser after Kovu got into a fight with his own dog. Now, the pit's owners are seeking justice.
He is a very, very friendly, nice, loving pit bull, one of the most loving pit bulls I've seen around here. And actually, since I've moved here, I've been chased by a couple of pit bulls who were nowhere near as friendly as my pit bull has been trained to be.
The owners attest to Kovu's temperament, saying he has never been aggressive towards anyone or any other dog.
The only time I've ever seen him get aggressive was towards a cat, and that's because, of course, cats and dogs probably wouldn't get along because that's just how they are.
Tuesday afternoon when the attack occurred, Scott said he had just left Kovu outside on a leash for not even 5 minutes.
And I guess my dog had slipped off his collar and was up here, and before I could even know that they were up here getting aggressive, I guess, Nate had told me that my dog literally was up in the Pearl City Cycle van, trying to be friendly, get pet by everybody who was in there, and then I guess he turned around and this man's dog got aggressive and started growling towards my dog. When he turned around and see what was going on, he claimed that they were fighting, and instead of breaking it up with his hander, he took a wrench and started hitting my dog in the head repeatedly with it.
Kovu sustained multiple injuries, leaving open wounds on his head.
His mother immediately took him to the Havana vet. They were very busy, so they weren't able to see him inside, but they came outside. He has a very bad concussion. He's able to walk, but he has a very bad concussion. He has a blood blister on the top of his left side.
According to the pair, this isn't the first incident Roser had with an animal. They now want the accused to lose his right to own a dog or any other pet in the future.
He said that he was going to have to put his own dog down.
Yeah, that's what he told us.
Because his own dog attacked his girlfriend.
In Jamestown, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you. Since the alleged attack, Jamestown police have charged Gregory Roser with aggravated cruelty to animals. And a search is underway in the Jamestown area for a driver accused of leaving the scene of a vehicle crash on the city's north side this week. The hit and run happened on Monday night around 7:15 on North Main Street, just past the intersection with Fluvanna Avenue. The victim in the crash shared these images of the wreckage, which caused heavy damage to the rear of their SUV. Now, witnesses believe a dark-colored Chevy Silverado with a New York license plate was involved. That truck likely has heavy front-end damage. Those with information are asked to call Jamestown Police at 716-483-7536. Luckily, no injuries were reported as a result of this accident. A 6-month-old baby boy was in the victim's vehicle at the time of the crash, his mother telling us everybody's sore but doing okay. The Lakewood Fire Department has deployed a new all-terrain vehicle. ATV 371 you hear there is a John Deere Gator. The firefighting agency officially unveiled this new acquisition last week. The unit would be used for a variety of tasks, including wildland operations such as firefighting, emergency medical services, and search and rescue missions. Furthermore, the ATV will also be deployed to special events like runs and festivals. Officials credit Captain Tom Allen and the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation for bringing this idea to life. Captain Allen spent most of the summer designing and constructing that unit, while the Community Foundation helped finance the equipment through their grant process. A 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony will take place on Sunday here in Chautauqua County. The program is hosted by the American Legion and Chautauqua County Veterans Council. It's meant to honor and remember the over 3,000 Americans who were killed on September 11, 2001, when members of the Islamic extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 planes and then crashed them into the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon just outside of D.C., and a field in western Pennsylvania. This annual program will feature a few words from dignitaries in our county. The public is encouraged to attend the ceremony outside of the Chautauqua County Courthouse in Mayville. It starts at noon on Sunday. And the Los Angeles Rams will raise their Super Bowl banner tonight before kicking off the NFL season at home, where they became the second straight team to host the Vince Lombardi Trophy in their own stadium, and somehow they're underdogs against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are preseason favorites to win the Super Bowl after falling short in the AFC divisional round against the Kansas City Chiefs last January. Josh Allen leads a dynamic offense, and the Bills had the league's stringiest defense in 2021. Now, under Sean McCavey, the Rams are 5-0 in the opening season. Defending champions are 19-3 in Week 1 since 2000. Now, FanDuel Sports here saying that the Bills has a 2.5-point favorite tonight. Pros disagreeing, though. Kickoff at 8:20 in LA. You can watch it on NBC. Well, Dakota's a Patriots fan, so I don't even know how to toss this over to you, Dakota. I do have to say, go Bills for sure, but I don't know. I've always been weird about sports agencies kind of tossing the pick. They're the pick for the Super Bowl. How do we know that in September? It's pretty much impossible.
I have a comment I could make about that, but it'll get me into all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
So
we love you as a weatherman, so I guess we should keep that.
I mean, for that, I just hope the Rams win, and I just hope the Bills choke in postseason once again in the playoffs.
All right, we're moving
I'd love
on.
that.
Thank you, Dakota.
All right,
That's it for us.
I'm out of here. Goodbye. No, but that's the Randolph Peaches and Cream Sky Cam. You can see the clouds are still around on this Thursday.
Not my friend anymore.
Yeah, there you go. So the satellite and radar composite, again, not showing you much, but just showing you those clouds that are around the southern tier. Pollen, it's still that ragweed pollen. Thanks to Dr. Fred Lewis out in Olean for that report. So patchy clouds give way to a good amount of sunshine later this afternoon. We're finally rising above the 60-degree mark, 70 to 77 today with a light wind. Now, we're going to stay dry through the end of the week, but I do have some rain in the forecast. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day later in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we might see you coming up in a little bit, depending on how our director feels. Thank you. As we continue the latest push for healthcare funding here in the Empire State, and later, we check in with farmers in our region who are getting ready. WNY News Now is back right after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Calling all teachers, get your year started off right with an evening with Gary Brooks. Come see Gary as he shares his funniest school stories and strategies to build a positive school culture. Go to reginald.com for tickets and more information.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
When severe weather breaks, One team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand called on congressional leadership to support community health workers yesterday through an additional $1 billion in supplemental funding package designed to tackle health care issues here at the local level. As WNY's Sam Shapiro reports, this funding stacks on top of money that's already allocated as part of the American Rescue Plan.
Senator Gillibrand called on congressional leadership to support community health workers through an additional $1 billion in supplemental funding package designed to tackle health care issues at the local level. This would be on top of the already $3 billion that was included in the American Rescue Plan. Gillibrand says the funding is necessary to provide much-needed support to public health workers treating COVID-19, as well as the growing monkeypox and polio outbreaks. Public health workers help connect underserved communities with needed services and also help with vaccine administration.
And it was clear to me that providing more support, not only for emergency rooms and hospitals, but also for these workers, their communities and public health systems, is so necessary, not only at this moment, but for the future of public health access across the country.
The recent monkeypox and polio outbreaks in New York are causing great concern. And as fall approaches and people begin to spend more time indoors, healthcare officials are warning people to prepare for another potential rise in COVID infections.
And with monkeypox, polio, and COVID-19 continuing to make many Americans sick, we need these essential workers and public health systems to be as supported and prepared as they can be moving forward.
And the American Rescue Plan Act was signed into law this year, and people can find out more information on how to apply for funding set aside in the plan on our website at WNY.com.
All right, Sam Shapiro reporting there. Sam, thank you. New York State is dropping its mask requirement on public transportation, thanks in part to the availability of new booster shots targeting most common strains of COVID-19. Governor Kathy Hochul announced that news Wednesday, that masks will be encouraged but not required on buses and trains, including the New York City subway system. Face coverings had been required on public transportation statewide since April of 2020, when New York was first ravaged by coronavirus. Now, compliance in the subway system was high early in the pandemic, but dropped steeply in recent months. Masks will still be required in healthcare settings, including hospitals and nursing homes. And Governor Tom Wolf has signed an executive order to expand voting registration access for eligible Pennsylvanians. This order expands the National Voter Registration Act of 1993, which mandated that certain state agencies provide the people they serve with access to voter registration materials. The new order extends those requirements, including 7 additional state agencies, including the Department of Agriculture, Education, and others. So if you're interested in voting, you can now start the process at state parks, libraries, and even the Pennsylvania Farm Show. With roughly 1.7 million non-registered voters, eligible voters in the Commonwealth are critical now for expansion for this program, that according to Governor Wolf.
Registering to vote is the first step for any Pennsylvanian to actually cast a ballot. And we're here today to make it easier for Pennsylvanians to find all of the materials they need to register to vote.
Now, the new agencies will provide critical voter education materials like an official voter registration mail application. The deadline to register for this year's general election is October 24th. Well, September and October often mean the return of apple crops, and local farms and produce stands are getting ready for a bountiful harvest. Erie News Now's Elspeth Meisner is hearing from farmers in our region before they make the harvest jump.
And this vineyard needed some water.
John Mason has been busy getting ready for a new season of crops.
On the 7th of August, they're that ripe already.
Mason says after a dry summer, he's hopeful for more rain this autumn to help with his grapes.
I've never irrigated as much as we have this year, and I've been doing this for about 40, 50 years. I've had years when we irrigated a lot, but then we had a break. You know, you'd get a rainstorm and you'd get a break for a week or so. This year we irrigated from the 1st of June till just here. This last batch of rain and over the last week and a half is the first time that we haven't been irrigating all day. I mean, every day of the week.
And after all these crops are either picked or purchased, they're brought to many of their stands out all throughout Erie. Some found on Old French Road, others on Westlake Road, and they have their other location on Peninsula Drive. Besides grapes, Mason makes sure his produce stands are filled with everything, from string beans to corn, tomatoes, and apples.
We have cider now, and we'll have that clear through Christmas. And we've had apples probably for, at least a month. So apples are definitely got plenty of them this time of year.
Although Mason doesn't harvest the apples himself, he says it's important that they support local farmers to get the produce needed for their stands.
Anytime we can buy anything local that we don't have enough of or stuff like that, we've found that some things we don't grow because somebody else grows them better than we do. We try to specialize in what we do well. We grow a lot of tomatoes, peppers and different things like that, grapes and raspberries. We grow a lot of strawberries, so we sort of specialize in them things. And so we've always bought a lot of our apples off of local farmers and stuff like that.
Elspeth Meisner, Erie News Now.
Looks good. Can't wait to bite into an apple. Elspeth, thank you. Coming up next, a look at President Joe Biden's big goal to cut cancer deaths in over half of the next 25 years. And later, hear the story of a disabled Jamestown veteran who has won a local hunting trip, giving him an opportunity that, without the help of others, wouldn't be possible. But first, Dakota returns with a full look at our weather forecast.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Calling all teachers. Get your year started off right with an evening with Gary Brooks. Come see Gary as he shares his funniest school stories and strategies to build a positive school culture. Go to reginaldaid.com for tickets and more information.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
I'm still here. The high temperature yesterday was 66. We started the day at 56 and wanted to talk more about that 66-degree temperature because we mentioned this yesterday about how we really have just been stuck in the 60s. Temperatures haven't risen or fallen below the 60s since 4 p.m. on Labor Day. That's when we first hit 69, and then we stayed in the 60s all the way until 2 a.m. This morning. That's officially when we finally ended that streak. 58 consecutive hours our temperature has spent above 60, and we didn't fall below 60 for 58 consecutive hours over 2 days. It's 2 days and 10 minutes if you actually figure it out. 66 right now as of noon hour. Clouds still being reported at the airport, but no wind to speak of, and there's no fog out there to contend with through this afternoon either. Drought monitor updated today has now taken the abnormally dry drought condition out across the western southern tier, which makes sense. All that rain that we had over the weekend obviously makes sense, but still abnormally dry continues out to the east, and we are going to see some rain build in here by the weekend, but we're going to stay dry today, tomorrow, and Saturday. But Sunday and Monday going into early next week will turn a little bit wet. So high pressure, now we're on that western side of high pressure, which is the weaker side. Notice this weak bounce. This is going to drop in here over the weekend, and that's what's going to produce the rain showers on Sunday. So notice future scan here, painting a couple of clouds from time to time through the afternoon, but the cloud cover that we have will start to fade away. But by the time we go into tomorrow morning, watch for some patchy, dense locally dense patchy fog. Try saying that 3 times fast across the inland areas. Then we're just going to have a fantastic afternoon on tap for Friday. Lots of sunshine, overall clear skies for Saturday. Then we'll keep it going by the time we go into Saturday night. Jamestown, by the way, has their next away game, not home game. That's actually next week. But they are in Orchard Park, taking on Orchard Park tomorrow night. 75 down to 74 the game. Go Raiders. One local team I support. Now the next 7 days, powered by Ultimate.
On that.
I'm sorry?
We can agree on that.
Yes.
Okay.
So lots of vitamin D for Friday and Saturday. Woo! Redeem myself. Late showers Saturday, and then we're going to keep the rain showers going into mid next week, Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. I'm glad they didn't kick you out of the show. Here's some headlines from around the nation. A man is in custody after going on a deadly shooting rampage in Memphis, Tennessee. Police have arrested 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly. They say he's responsible for multiple shootings that took place in Memphis in the span of 24 hours. At least 4 people are dead, 3 others injured as a result. Kelly then allegedly stole a vehicle in South Haven, Mississippi, which helped him lead to his capture following a high-speed chase. The victim in that carjacking was not injured. At least 8 shootings were reported to police on Wednesday. Officials say at least one point Kelly allegedly live-streamed himself on Facebook threatening to harm people. He's expected to face multiple felony charges here. And President Joe Biden has a big goal: cut cancer deaths in half over the next 25 years. It's called the Cancer Moonshot Initiative. He'll talk about where the efforts are in Boston on Monday. Now, quite fitting considering it's the 60th anniversary of JFK's famous "We chose to go to the moon" speech. The speech is expected to draw parallels between the push to land on the moon and between Biden's own, quote, vision for another American moonshot, a future where we end cancer as we know it. The cancer cabinet he put together has laid out 5 key priorities, including some that will close the gap on screening, understanding environmental impacts, decreasing the preventable cancers, and bringing cutting-edge research to patients and community. He also eyes supporting patients and caregivers. Now, cancer is the second highest cause of death in our nation. Well, with the colder months getting closer every day, some are considering the Omicron subvariants of COVID might flare up again as temperatures drop and more people spend time inside. But recently, the FDA approved a new vaccine booster which targets Omicron. Erie News Now's Tom Kowalski spoke with local healthcare professionals about what the new vaccines mean for COVID in our region.
While many have already gotten their COVID vaccines and booster shots, research shows that they're less effective towards protecting against the new Omicron variant, especially after a few months. That's where the new booster comes in.
What's great about this booster is it jumpstarts your immune system, like reminding it what SARS-CoV-2 looks like, but it's really specific to the Omicron variant.
So where can you get the new booster shot?
We have those some of the Moderna bivalent booster available, and we're going to have that available here on Friday at the Lecom Center for Health and Aging. The Pfizer product we also have on order, but it's taken a little bit longer to fill the supply chain.
So does this mean that we'll now just have to treat COVID boosters like a yearly flu shot? Well, not exactly.
This virus has surprised us at every turn. Every time we think we understand, or we think we have the model, or we think we know what's going to happen next, the virus has done something different and unpredictable. So I think right now, it's an easy branding tool from a scientific standpoint. We really don't know what's going to happen.
And Dawson urges people to get both the flu shot and the COVID booster when available.
Go get your flu shot and go get that booster for COVID together. Don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't do any of those things, because I think that when we wait and we put things off, we always have regrets. After we get sick, we get someone else sick, we see something terrible happen. So don't have regrets. Just go get the shot right away and, deal with the sore arms for 24 hours. I think the sore arm is way That's a low cost for all the health benefits that you get from both of the vaccines.
I'm Tom Kowalski, WNY News Now.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Coming up next, a disabled Jamestown veteran. He's won a local hunting trip, giving him an opportunity that, without the help from others, wouldn't be possible.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Slow down, and move over.
Move over. When you see signs,
Lights,
vests,
Please, give us some room.
slow down.
And move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please.
slow down.
Slow down,
And move over.
Move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Finally here today, a disabled Jamestown veteran who currently plays for the Buffalo Bills Wheelchair Football League has won a local hunting trip, giving him an opportunity that, without the help from others, wouldn't be possible. Our Julia Gress shares his story.
Tony Neubauer is the first recipient of the Heroes Hunt presented by Primitive Patriot Outdoors in Frewsburg, New York. This fall, he will set out on a customized white-tailed deer hunt.
It's a great opportunity that he's giving me to get out and hunt again. It's been 3 years since I've hunted. Actually, up until the day that I shot, I was hunting. That day I did, and you know, unfortunately wasn't able to take care of the deer that I had shot that day.
Neubauer served with the Marine Corps from 2004 to 2009 and with the Army until 2014. Following a 2019 shooting at the Bullfrog Hotel in Jamestown that left Neubauer in a wheelchair, he now plays for the Buffalo Bills wheelchair team.
I kind of reached out to the coach earlier in the season, and he asked me to come out for training camp, and I killed it. You know, I got a starting position as tight end right now, and I play middle linebacker as well. We go full force, go Bills.
There are currently 20 players on the team who compete against 12 NFL-sanctioned teams around the country.
A lot of people just think that, you know, I'm supposed to sit here and be disabled and not out there doing the things that everybody else does, and that's not the case with me. I want to go skydiving, I want to bungee jump, you know, all of this from the wheelchair.
The sponsor of the event, Joshua Larson, created Primitive Patriot Outdoors in October 2020. After serving 8 years in the Marine Corps, Larson decided to fall back on something his father taught him to love, the outdoors.
I got laid off. I was laid off for about 5 months. And during that time, I decided to turn my hobby into a business. So I first started on Facebook, just sharing posts and sharing knowledge of my experiences, and then we ran our first big buck contest in 2020. We had 69 members, and then we launched the Western New York Walleye Classic, which is growing into one of Western New York's largest walleye tournaments.
Larson teaches ethical hunting practices and promotes conservation through the preservation of public lands. He hopes that one day he will be able to take these heroes on their dream hunts. Volunteers and land or charter donations would help make this possible. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you so much for sharing that story, and congrats to Tony on winning the hunt. And I think if you watch the program, Dakota knows this, I got a soft spot for veterans. I mean, if you're going to honor somebody, why not do that? And it's so awesome to see Primitive Patriot Outdoors connecting with them, and right here in Chautauqua County too. Like, they've put on some really big events, and it's so cool to see that they're giving back in that way. And it's the whole story of follow your vision, right? Mm-hmm. You can do anything, even Tony here, right? Mm-hmm. After having a horrible accident occur, him being able to go and play on a Buffalo Bills sub team, I mean, come on, go Bills! What are you going to say?
Well, I mean, you know, I think one of the most powerful things he said was, you know, when, you know, he was talking about, you know, how, you know, what is he supposed to do? Just, you know, sit in the wheelchair and, you know, just be, you know, disabled when he wants to go and do all these fun things. So it's like, you know, just because he's disabled doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to stop him from doing what he wants to do.
No, amen to see that too. So that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.